Hello, Collective. Welcome back to Love, Light, and Life Affirmed, your daily affirmations for self-love and growth. Hi, you guys. Welcome back into the channel. Thank you so much for being back here with me again. You know, I always love having you with me. Thank you so much for all your love and support. You guys have been truly incredible, absolutely amazing on another level. So thank you so much. You guys, this is going to be your soul's echo oracle message. So I'm just going to pull a spread like usual. I will also get you some clarifiers from the Love and Career oracle, and then also a mystic oracle at the end as well, just to close it out. So let's just see what's going on. Let's just see what we need to be focused on. You know, I just want to say that I understand and appreciate you guys being here with me, because I understand that the messages that I bring to the collective they're not lightweight messages. They're not messages that are always regarding, you know, drama filled relationships. And so I truly appreciate the fact that you are allowing me to deliver this type of advice, this type of wisdom to you, that's meant to truly help you grow and evolve and to heal through some pretty tough things. So I appreciate all of my followers and subscribers. You guys have no idea how much it means to me. And any of the new and incoming followers and subscribers, welcome to the fam, you guys. Welcome to the Soul Tribe. And I always pray that my messages are useful for you as well. All right, you guys. So let's see. Let's grab a few messages here from Soul's Echo, and let's see what's going on in my collective. You know, I got to check in on you guys and see how you guys are doing, making sure you guys are always staying in good spirits, right? No matter what's going on, keeping a positive mindset. That is what we're going to be focused on here. Yes, maybe you didn't have such a great day today, but the day is over. You're not home. You are, able to shut down and leave whatever happened at work, right? Whatever that situation was that happened outside of home, leave it where it is for the time being. Take the time out in the evenings to really wind down, to really relax, to really let go for a little bit, right? So that you can regroup. That's very, very important. I know a lot of people, bring their work home. When I say bring their work home, I mean, not just actual work, but sometimes people bring home the drama, that they had that day, and they hold on to it and they take it with them even when they go to bed, right? So it's almost like you haven't even given your mind a chance to relax, regroup, to rest. And because we do this every single day, especially if you have a standard 9 to 5, you need your mind to be at ease for that time that you have to be at ease. So that's just a small piece of advice. It seems like it's something that I needed to address for a group of you guys. So moving forward, just do your best when you get home, you guys. Just, leave whatever happened outside of home, whatever happened at work, whatever happened during the day, especially if it wasn't something good. If you made it through it and you're now at home, able to get comfortable, getting your pajamas, eat the dinner you like, spend time with your family, the person that you love. That is what should matter in this moment, not anything else, right? So, all right. Like I said, somebody may have needed to hear that. All right, you guys. Okay. Well, let's grab a few of these. Let's see what advice you guys need at this time. Let's see what advice is needed in my collective at this time. But I do hope that you guys had a great day. I'm glad that you guys made it home as well safely. All right. What advice? Okay. So the first one that came out, soul calling. You hear a new call rising from your depths. It asks for commitment, courage, and heart. Say yes to the adventure your soul prepared long ago. So, a lot of you guys in my collective are really going through your transformations at this time. There's a lot of shifts going on. People are raising their vibrations. They are truly looking forward to living life in their purpose based on their heart's desire. And if you look closely at this photo, in between the guy's fingers, you'll see that it's a very small heart. And you almost miss it if you don't really look, because the other part of the picture is so intense. His gaze looking up to the sky is like this longing to feel whole, to feel like he has a purpose. And it's almost like he's starting to understand what that calling is. And it's bringing this sense of energy that he's never felt. So I feel like that is what's happening on a whole with the collective at this time. A lot of you guys are truly starting to find what it is you really want out of life. You're really starting to find what your true life purpose is. And that's an amazing thing. So stay courageous, stay committed, and definitely make sure you protect your heart. Perfect. All right. What's next, collective? What else do we need to talk about? Okay. So then we have first step. You are at the beginning of a new journey of action. The first step holds the power to change everything. Take it boldly, even if you feel unsure. Okay. So when I shuffled these purposely because I wanted to see what the energy was. And so this actually came out in the reverse. So, what this is telling me is that I have a group of you guys in my collective that are having a hard time taking that first step that is truly needed in order to give you the power to move. In order for you to move towards your soul's calling, you're going to need to take that very, very important first step. Just like how excited we get when our children take their very first step, because we understand in that moment, it is such a moment of empowerment for our baby. It is so important because it means that they will now be able to move freely, right? Through life. It's almost a metaphor in a way, but it's such a beautiful moment. Most of us, make sure we try to catch it on camera if we can, right? So we can remember what it felt like when we saw that first step. It's the same for you guys, collective. So don't be afraid to take whatever the first step is that is needed in order to push you forward, right? Because I guarantee you, as much as you may fear that first step, once it's taken, you will feel that empowerment, just like a baby does when they take their first step, even though they don't understand what just happened, but we do. So don't be afraid of your first steps, collective. You know, it's really a point of empowerment. I feel like it's something to be treasured. I feel like it's something to be remembered. I feel like it's something you should definitely write down and journal and make sure you remember exactly how you felt when you moved past your fear and you moved into courage and you lifted that foot and you took that first step. Choice of calling. You feel torn between two paths, unsure which is true. Your soul is whispering, one path will align more deeply with who you are becoming. Trust the quieter voice within. Exactly. So, this is probably why you are having a hard time taking this first step, because you feel like you have a choice between two decisions. This could be anything. This could be regarding work. This could be regarding relationships, right? And so I feel like you guys are having a hard time taking that first step because you're not sure which choice is going to be the better one. So, what this message is telling you is that the quieter voice is the one that you trust, because that is your intuition, that quiet nudge, that's probably been in the back of your mind for a very long time, that is the choice. It's not the choice that makes you feel anxious, that brings up negative emotions, right? Especially if you're talking about moving towards growth, especially if you're talking about moving towards alignment with who you are becoming. Listen to the quieter voice, because your intuition is not going to make you feel nervous or anxious. It's just a quiet nudge. And it's one that's been there for a very long time. What else for my collective? What else for my collective? What else for my collective do they need to know at this time? What other messages does my collective need at this time? Oh, wow. This one must be important. Messenger of seeds. New ideas and subtle whispers are arriving. Be curious. Record every inspiration. They are messages from your deepest soul remembering. Like I said, grab a notebook, you guys, and write down what you're feeling. Maybe because when I went through my process of healing, those first 7 or 8 months were pretty tough. I'm going to give you a little bit of my story here, because this is why I do this, to be able to share with you. I had so many thoughts because I really took the time to go within to gain perspective. I really wanted to understand why I was at this point that I was in my life at the time. And what I found was it made me feel better when I was able to journal, when I was able to write down those thoughts that I had, random thoughts. It could be something that just hit me in the middle of the night. I would wake up and I would write it down, because sometimes when you don't write down something in the moment, you forget later, right? Because so many things are going on, so many things are always going through your head. But journaling, it made me feel calm. It helped me to understand my thoughts, my feelings, because I could always go back and read it again and look at it again and look at it again, not from that moment when I wrote it down, when it probably had the biggest impact, but even in those quieter moments where I can go back and look at what I wrote and really understand the emotion that I was feeling, why I was feeling that way. So this may be confirmation. If some of you guys have racing thoughts right now, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling nervous, if you're just a natural overthinker, because a lot of people are, really get into writing down your thoughts. And I think what made it quote unquote fun for me, because that point in my life was nothing fun about it, I would buy journals that made me happy when I looked at them, that made me want to write in them. I had a nice pen or a group of pens. I had about, 2 or 3 different notebooks, different types of covers, very nice, because it motivated me. It got me to want to open it and write. And then it just became routine after a while. So, this is a message for somebody. You're having these nudges. You know that it's time to take a first step, but you're terrified because you feel like you have to make such a big choice and you don't know which one to choose. So, since you don't have enough information or you feel like you can't trust your intuition, maybe at this time, grab a journal, start writing. Every time you think about something, it doesn't matter how big or small it is, it doesn't matter if it seems insignificant. If you feel like you need to write it down, then write it down. It's your own personal notebook, right? You can write freely. You can say whatever it is you need to say, however you want to say it. But it seems like you are getting these nudges, you're getting these bits of information that you need to start writing down, new ideas. Maybe these are new ideas about a business that you want to start. Maybe it's something you've been thinking about for a while, but it's only been a thought. In order to bring it into fruition, maybe it's time to write that thought down, write those ideas down. They'll definitely help you. They'll definitely help you. I promise you that. That's for somebody. All right. What else does my collective need to know at this time? Okay. Sacred return. You have journeyed far and wide through realms of forgetting and remembering. Now you return home to your truest self, carrying all of your wisdom. So this is almost like going through an awakening process where you are now starting to remember who you are, what your purpose is, what direction you need to be going. And again, that could be scary, right? Because when you're used to living a certain type of lifestyle, doing things a certain way, trying to completely change that, especially if you've been doing it for a while, you've been connected to someone, in a marriage, in a relationship for a long time that may not understand you. There's a lot of things that you could be concerned about, and that's understandable. 100% understandable. And that's why I always say to you guys, nothing that we discuss has to be instant. This is not about instant gratification. It is just literally about awareness. It's about just trying to take the time to understand, because it's really important to your life, to your future, to your higher self, to where you want to go, especially if there's a level of fulfillment that you are trying to reach. So don't be afraid of who you are, collective. Okay? Don't be afraid of who you are. What's this one? So this one is Soul Spark. You feel a faint stirring deep inside, a new spark ready to ignite. This is your soul remembering its original intention. Nurture this small flame, it holds immense potential. So this came out in the reverse. So this is telling me again that you guys are having a hard time with adapting to what you're feeling, maybe because it's something foreign, right? Because it's something that we're not just used to doing or feeling. A lot of the times people develop a fear behind exploring what's happening. When it comes to you exploring, you should never be afraid of that, right? Because ultimately you're always in control of you most of the time. You're in control of your own thoughts. That's one thing that nobody else should be able to control, even though I understand that there are people who, are easily influenced. There are people who need opinions of others in order to feel confident in their choices. Well, that's definitely something that doesn't work in this situation. And so, if that is you, if that is a situation that you find yourself in because you lack the confidence, this is definitely going to be a challenge, but it's a challenge worth stepping up to. Because if you can find a sense of independence in your thoughts, again, even if that's writing it down, instead of going to everyone else in your life and asking them what they think you should do, how about you take the time and actually write down every thought that you have about this choice, this decision that you need to make. Write down everything good and bad that you think about, that you worry about, that makes you happy. Write down what you desire. Write down what you would do if you were in the situation. Write down what you fear about the situation. Write down everything that you can think of so you can look at it from a different perspective point. Because when you have thoughts in your head that are constantly racing, moving 100 miles an hour, how do you process it? Especially if you're an overthinker. I feel like I'm talking to a group of people who overthink, get overwhelmed by their thoughts, or who feel like they need the opinions of other people to make decisions. Well, I'm telling you that in this type of situation, when it's about you, when it's about what's best for you, you're not going to be able to use other people's opinions to make the right decision in that. What else? What flipped here? Expansion. Your energy field is growing beyond old limits. New opportunities are reaching for you. Stretch into the unknown with joy and curiosity. Exactly. You know, guys, I always use the analogy of when we were kids, because I think it's important. When we were kids, we believed what we wanted to believe, right? Because when you're young, when you don't understand, all the letters of the alphabet, all the words in the dictionary, you don't have life knowledge, life experience. Whatever information comes to you as a kid, you grab a hold of it. And if it feels good to you, that's what you go with. That's what puts a smile on your face. To those boys growing up who grow up knowing that they want to be firemen when they get older, they will put on a fireman outfit and they will want to wear that to school every single day. To the girls who grow up and they feel like they want to grow up and be a Disney princess or just a princess, they will wear that perfect dress every single day to school if they could, because it makes them feel good about themselves and makes them feel confident. It puts a smile on their face. This is what you're seeking, that type of freedom, that level of your heart's desire that's been missing sometimes as we get older. Again, if you are a person who are living in your truth and living based on your heart's desire, living in your purpose, then obviously, congratulations, you have passed this point. But there are a lot of people who are still struggling with trying to find that balance. Again, because we usually go through life doing exactly what people tell us we should be doing as far as the society's rules, right? You get through school, you go to college, you go to university or you get your certifications and then you get a job in whatever career field. And then eventually you find your spouse and then you get married and then you have children and then you buy the house and you have the cars, right? That is how success is seen. But there's so many people, obviously, as well, who live their lives based in success on their gifts. Singers, writers, artists, artists of all kind. And their creativity is expressed in their own unique way. And it has nothing to do with living based on that societal norm. So, again, if you feel like there is something else that you should be doing and you feel like you're getting these nudges to start doing it or to look into it, then do it. It doesn't have to interrupt your current life, whatever that may be. But don't ignore it, especially if it makes you happy. Don't overthink it. Like I said, and if you're just a natural overthinker, again, I understand. Just grab a journal, start writing. Who knows? Your thoughts, those overwhelming thoughts, just may turn into a book. Who knows? It's possible, because anything is possible. First breath. You are entering a new realm of emotional experience. Fresh feelings rise like a first breath after sleep. Allow yourself to feel fully without judgment. Exactly, you guys. First steps, first breaths. Again, I love when the message confirms itself. It is time for somebody's first step in their first breath, and it's time for you to be courageous and to do these without fear. Without fear. One more. One more for my collective. One more. Sacred challenge. You face trials that test your commitment to your soul path. These challenges are initiations, not punishments. Stand firm. You are growing your sacred roots. Yes, collective. Challenges in life, while they seem personal, they're not. They're not. No matter what they look like, they're not. It is initiations of growth for you to understand who you are, in order for you to grow a thicker skin and be able to get through hard things, difficult choices, complex choices, without feeling overwhelmed, without having fear. So the challenges of life help you to grow and build and evolve into a person of strength and courage, because that is how you grow and evolve, through the challenges, through the tough times. If you can learn to not take them personal, but understand that it's a chance to learn something about you, it will become your power. It will become your superpower. All right, let me get you a few love and career oracles here. See what else I can clarify for you guys. I hope you're enjoying the message. Okay. Choose wisely. Decisions shape your path amid challenges. Stay open to learning as answers reveal your destined journey. Just exactly what I just said. And like I said, you'll know the choice to make once you take the time to gain the perspective of the decisions that you have, the choice and decisions that you have, right? So instead of, like I said, letting your brain overthink and get overwhelmed, start writing it down. Start writing down your thoughts about whatever decision you need to make. It will truly help you, I promise. And roots of success. Beautiful. Secure your foundation, fostering growth and stability for a thriving journey ahead. Yes, this new path, this new choice is going to allow you to grow roots of success. Again, because it is going to be on path to what you desire. So you're going to nurture it, you're going to invest in it, right? And you're going to enjoy doing it along the way as well. Hear what's unsaid. Tune into the silence for truths that words cannot express. Listen deeply. There you go. Listen to yourself. It's very quiet. It's not loud. It doesn't make you feel anxious. Listen deeply, and you'll know your answer. Protect it. Find solace in the safety of knowing you are sheltered and guided through life's tempests toward tranquil shores. So, as you start to make your decisions, as you take your first steps, as you take your first breath towards this new direction, you are protected. So, don't worry. You'll always know what to do. One more. Beautiful. Harmony's call. Embrace equality and pursue justice. Keep an open mind, and answers unveil your path to balance. There you go. All right. Let me get you a few from Mystic Oracle so we can close it out. Thank you guys for still being here with me. I hope the message has been useful for you in some way. Maybe if not now on the timeline, maybe it'll be helpful in the future for you if you're not here yet. Spirit of life, remember you are never alone. The Spirit of life is with you. The world takes care of you. Allow yourself to rest in this realization and feel the lightness in you. So, yes, so I'm going to put this right under choice of calling. So, as you are making this decision, always remember that you're never alone. Even if you feel like you have to sit and really think about what choice to make, you're never alone in that decision making. The universe, your spirit guides, they're always there to try to help you, but you just have to listen deeply. Okay. What else for the collective? Energetic pull. A true master knows that you create through your actions. Do not hesitate when you feel the energy pulling you. Follow it fearlessly and move worlds. Like I said, there's no need to fear. Take that first step, just like a child does, and they're excited when they do it. You see the excitement on their face. Not only is the child excited, but they really don't know why they're excited. They just know they're doing something new that they've never done before and it feels good. But not only is the child excited, but so is everyone else that witnesses it. This is what you will feel once you don't allow fear to stop you from taking those first steps. A few more. Soul awakening. You are quite irresistible when your mind and heart pulse in the same rhythm. Why spend your days fighting yourself? You have better things to do. Like take action, collective. You've got better things to do. Let's get going. All right, let me get you guys one more. Okay. If anybody else needed confirmation, here you go. Instant manifestation. Soul and mind working together create a dream in the heart. You have nothing to lose. You carry the dream. Your intention is pure. Be ready to receive. There you go, collective. There you go. I love it. All right, you guys. And at the bottom of the deck, don't hide. Dare to dream big. Remind yourself that everything is possible. Don't hide your talents and abilities, but use them to build your world. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, my collective, that is the message. I really hope that that was able to give you some food for thought. I hope I was able to help you in some way at this time in your life. The messages are timeless. So, again, this may not be your message at this time. It may be something that's coming up for you in the future. But I always pray that it's helpful for you. And until next time, you guys, with so much love and light, bye.